Selling, a way of life. Selling is a prerequisite for success. Selling impacts every person on this planet. Your ability or inability to sell, persuade, negotiate, and convince others will affect every area of your life and will determine how well you will survive. No matter your title or position in life or what your role is in a company or on a team, you will at some point have to convince others. Your ability to do so will impact you in a way that will determine the very outcome of your life. Selling is used every day by every person on this planet. No one is excluded. Selling is not just a job or a career. Selling is essential to the survival and well-being of every living individual. Your ability to do well in life depends on your ability to sell others on things in which you believe. You need to know how to negotiate and how to get another's agreement at some point in your life. The ability to get others to like you, to work with you, to want to please you determines how well you survive. Selling is not just a job. Selling is a way of life. Merriam Dictionary, selling, the action of persuading or influencing another to a course of action or to the acceptance of something. The action of persuading or influencing another to a course of action or to the acceptance of something. Who does this not impact? When I say selling, I'm talking about anything having to do with convincing, persuading, negotiating, or just simply getting your way. This could include debating, getting along with others, exchanging goods or services, convincing a girl to go out with you, buying or selling a home, closing the bank to give you a loan, starting your own business, persuading others to support your ideas, or getting a customer to buy a product from you. It is said that the number one reason a business or individual fails is because it is undercapitalized. The truth is, business fails first and foremost because their ideas were not sold quickly enough in quantities great enough, and therefore that company ran out of money. No business owner can build a business without understanding this critical element called selling. Think of any action in life, and I assure you that there's someone at one end or the other trying to persuade the outcome. The golfer has a 6-foot putt. He putts the ball and then does everything he can in his powers to persuade that ball to go into the hole. He talks to it. He pleads with it. He makes motions with his hands. He might even whisper a little prayer, "Ball, please drop." All the while, his opponent stands across from him doing the exact opposite. This example only demonstrates that every one of us is always trying to influence a certain outcome. I'm trying to influence a certain outcome, which is what selling is. The degree to which you can influence the outcome of events in your life is the determining factor of your success. For those who don't want to trust the outcome to their fate, to pleading, to wishing, praying, hoping, you must learn this thing called selling, and persuasion, and convincing, and learn to do it successfully. No matter who you are or what you do, you're selling something. It doesn't matter whether you know it or not, or whether or not you call yourself a salesperson, because you're either selling something or someone is selling you. Either way, one of the parties is going to influence the outcome, and it will either be you getting your way or them getting theirs. A sale is made in every exchange of ideas, every exchange of communication. A sale is made every time. There's no exception. Deny it if you will, but that won't change the facts. You're a salesperson, and you're one every single day of your life. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, I assure you that you're trying to get your way. The fact that you don't have the title of salesperson or that you aren't being paid a commission is only a technical issue. You are still a salesperson, and commissions come in many forms. The commission. Speaking of commissions, every time you get your way, you've been paid a commission. It's not just money. I get my way. It's a commission. The commission in this case was getting my way, getting your way. You had to sell someone on that idea to get your way. See, not all payments in life are monetary. Some of the greatest, most incredible achievements I've had in my personal life had nothing to do with money. Recognition for a job well done is a commission. A raise or a promotion at work is a commission. Gaining new friends. Wow, what an incredible commission to get new friends. Getting votes for a project you're pushing forward on. while it might not include money, it is still a commission. You know, I find it comical when people tell me, I could never be a salesperson because I could never work on commission. And I'm like, what do you mean? Your entire life is a commission. There's no salary guaranteed in life. There's no promise of money. The whole world's on commission, and the whole world is required to sell. It has been said that the best things in life are free, but I don't agree with that. The best things in life are those things that come as a result of a commission for some extra, well-done effort. Happiness, security, safety, a great home, a great family, love, confidence, friends, your church, your community, on and on, are all commissions for someone's hard work at selling others on a better way of life. True love, the ultimate commission, is rewarded to those who find the right partner, sell that partner, take care of that partner, continue to create that relationship, and keep it growing. See, there's no guarantee in life that you'll be loved. There's no guarantee that a relationship will get you love. First, you've got to persuade the person to take interest in you. Then you have to find out what they want and what makes them happy. Then you have to produce that and keep producing it. But somewhere along the line, you had to sell the other person on the idea that you're the one and that they can trust you to create a life with you. If you succeed and exceed the person's expectations, you will be guaranteed and assured the commission of love. Health. Health is not a guarantee in life. Health is a commission as well. See, health is a commission for taking care of yourself and your mind. When a person successfully sells himself, let's say on eating right, working out, and taking care of his attitude, he will be rewarded with a commission of having good health. You have to sell yourself on being healthy. It just doesn't come to you. The great benefit of children. What an incredible commission. A commission of sorts, and it is not a guarantee to every marriage. You still have to convince your partner to have sex with you. And even marriage doesn't guarantee you sex. If you can't close your partner on wanting to have sex with you, look, you won't get the great commission of the pleasure of sex or the creation of children. Once you've had the kids, you have to keep selling. Once you've had the kids, they're being sold all the time or they're selling you. Concepts like discipline, work ethic, education, manners, homework have to be sold to the children. If you don't do the selling, trust me, they will pound you with a sale of their own. Kids are the best salespeople on planet Earth. Look, they're passionate, they're relentless, they're completely unreasonable, and they're persistent closers, and they're able to break down their parents' resistance until they absolutely get what they wanted. See, that is selling, and that is a life that will be full of passion like a child lives life. See, the point is, if you haven't gotten it already, selling is about life, and every area of your life involves selling. The more consistently you can win at selling, the more commissions you'll be rewarded with in life. So get it. Get it big. Everyone on this planet is involved in selling. There are no exceptions to this law. You're involved in selling every minute of every day. If this is somehow distasteful to you, or you have disdain for this thing called selling, then you have misunderstandings about selling. When I say selling, do you think of fast-talking swindler who can sell anything to anyone? Maybe you immediately get an image of a guy who's confrontational or high-pressure type. See, both of these images are only negative extremes of this thing called selling and in no way incorporate the skills of a true salesperson. Confrontation and pressure, for instance, are the attributes of the amateur who doesn't truly understand sales and resorts to unpleasant tactics that feel forceful. When I'm discussing sales in this book, I'm referring not only to the professional, paid career salesperson, but I'm also talking about the everyday use of the basic persuasion skills and how you can use them to get your way in life. Now, to do this, you have to be aware of false data. There's tremendous amounts of false information regarding this area called selling that made you feel not good about it in the first place. See, the subject of selling, like any other subject, is full of false information that has been perpetuated over the years. Many areas of life have false information where you might be struggling. This false data may be partly responsible for the bad impression of this profession and this very needed, vital life skill. False data is information that is not factual, but which is suggested about something or someone and then is passed along. It is agreed upon and used as truth when it is not. False data, I'm going to say that again, it's an agreed upon piece of information. It's passed on as the truth, but it is not. For instance, most of my life I wanted to own real estate and have had a particular interest in buying apartment buildings. When I first got started, most of the people talked about, oh my gosh, apartments, owning apartments, it's a nightmare, and that I would have difficulties with tenants at midnight and the plumbing would leak and you'd get phone calls. Well, the truth is, while tenants would obviously get upset if their plumbing was leaking, rightly so, it is false data about owning apartments that actually causes people to lose interest in ever buying them. I've owned over 2,500 apartments in multiple states, and trust me, the renter is not the problem with owning real estate. Not having renters is a problem. Leaky faucets is just an issue to deal with. You see the difference? Of course, there are problems with owning apartment buildings, but so what? I assure you that the problems are minuscule compared to the rewards I have personally received. People who knew very little about buying these apartments promoted this false data to me as an excuse for them not buying their own apartments. The whole subject of money is full, just loaded with false information, most of which is passed on by people that give advice on money, on TV, the radio, newspapers, and in books, but these same people don't have any money themselves. See, when I first started my first business, almost everyone told me, oh my gosh, it's going to be difficult, how difficult the startup would be, how much money it would take, how risky it was, and how few businesses make it. None of these people had ever actually started a business. In retrospect, I look back and see that they didn't start a business, but they had plenty of advice to give me. You see, this data that disregards all the successful stories, the horror stories, that data disregards all the successful stories of people like me who started their own business and were successful. See, I later started another company. This next company required me to take on a partner in order for me to start it. Multiple people suggested to me while I was considering this that, hey, Grant, most partnerships don't work out. Well, I can only tell you that while partnerships may be difficult, this business would have been impossible for me to operate without a partner. Oh, and by the way, that particular partnership has lasted almost 15 years now, and we've closed it on a handshake. People tend to form opinions and give advice and pass on myths where they don't personally have any experience. Much of the data, false data, they pass along hasn't been fully inspected for truth, even though it's being passed on as the truth. Take urban legend, for example. A guy will swear to you that it was a friend of a friend's sister that disappeared on prom night 20 years ago and how her ghost now hitchhikes along the lonely road between town and the old cemetery. You'll hear the same story in multiple cities across the country. If you ask him to give you specific names and dates, he won't be able to provide them. Yet just moments ago, he was passing on these falsehoods as truth, and he did it with passion. Many years ago, I was told not to move to California. I was living in Houston, Texas at the time, and I just had this craving to live on the West Coast, and I'd never even been there. And I was telling people, I want to go to California. And these people started telling me, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. And they would tell me that the people in California are strange. Well, people who never lived in California were giving me this advice. They had only read about it in a newspaper or seen it on some gossip, TV show. The same phenomenon occurs with sales. Let me just go back to California. There are strange people that live there, trust me, and it is expensive, but it's worth living there. It's worth having the experience, and I'm glad I didn't listen to them. Okay, so this same phenomenon of false information, false data occurs with sales and has given the entire profession and the skill itself a bad name. It's such a shame because everyone needs the skill of selling to get along in life. And the profession itself offers incredible amounts of freedom and phenomenal amounts of financial benefits. People continue to pass on the false information that selling is hard, that it's difficult to depend on commissions, that selling is sleazy, that you'll have to work long hours, it's not dependable, and you can't rely on the income. And it's not considered a real job, by the way. While this may be true for some, it may be true for you. It's not the reality of those who know what they're doing. Most of the images people have regarding a topic are very rarely ever based in reality. Certainly any negative image you might have had about salespeople would be based on the past, right? If you have a negative image, it had to come from the past. It's not coming from the future. It's based on some past image, which would suggest that your considerations aren't even relevant to the present because they are in the past. If I'm talking about selling or persuading or negotiating and you get an image of a past experience or something you were told about a salesperson and you're no longer involved in the present conversation because of that. You get this? I tell you about sales. You have a negative image, comes from the past. You're not really even communicating with me anymore. You're relying on some past decision, some advice, or some opinion for your information. All images based on the past have very little value in the present and definitely no value in creating the future. This is very, very important. All images based on the past have very little value in the present and definitely no value in creating a future. Selling, critical to survival. And when I'm talking about survival, I'm not just talking about getting by, I'm talking about prospering. See, regardless of your preconceived opinion, your idea, or value that you might have regarding sales and salespeople, you need to fully adopt, completely embrace that you're going to have to sell no matter your position or your job in life. Whether you're rich or poor, male or female, on salary or commission, you're always selling something. Or you're selling an idea to someone else in order that you advance survival. There's no exception to this rule and no way to escape the fact. That doesn't mean that you'll start wearing polyester slacks and white patent leather shoes and talking fast and pressuring people. Take a moment to consider all the different roles you play in life. Let's say you came up with a wife, I'm a partner, I'm an employee, I'm a mom. These are different roles you have. Teacher, church member, neighbor, friend, writer, PTA president, whatever. I want you to look at each of these roles. And most people have multiple roles in life. I want you to take and observe how selling is involved in each one of those. Maybe selling isn't your full-time career, and maybe you don't get paid a monetary commission to sell a product. Maybe you don't even have a business card that calls you a salesperson, but I assure you that you'll see how selling will impact your success in each of your roles in life more than any other single ability you have. The receptionist who wants a raise, the actress who wants the part, the guy who wants the girl, all rely on selling themselves, whether they know it or not. A professional salesperson, the career salesperson, the guy with the business card that says salesperson, see, he depends on sales for his livelihood and definitely needs to know how to do this thing called selling. Something as simple as driving to work, you do it every day, and then you want to get off the freeway. You will have to negotiate and sell the other drivers without talking. You will have to sell the other drivers so you can actually access the off-ramp. When you find yourself buying a house, for instance, and trying to convince the seller to sell at a lower price, you're not buying, you're selling. When you go to the bank to get a loan, you will be selling the bank on why you should be given a loan. The actor goes to an audition and hopes, wishes, and prays to get the part. Well, no matter how well prepared that actor is, they would be better able to convince the director that not only he or she can act, but he or she is the right person for that part. See, you have to start preparing now because there's no way to avoid the fact that you'll need this skill to survive and do well in life. The skill of sales is so critical to a person's survival and prosperity. I don't understand why it's not required study at school. The fact that it isn't taught in school, that it isn't required or even offered, only further indicates the immense value of those that take the time to learn this skill. See, it's my observation that the most important skills needed in life are not taught in school. I spent 17 years getting a formal education, 12 years, grade school, and then to 12th grade, and then 5 more years in college. And I can tell you that I have learned more at seminars, from audio programs, from reading books, and talking with other successful business people at conferences than my entire formal education. No successful business person would exclude basic selling, persuasion, and negotiating skills from those things that helped him or her along the way. A person's ability to persuade another is the only thing that will ultimately ensure a person's position in the marketplace today. Academic records, grades, resumes will not guarantee you a promotion or an advancement in life. Only the ability to sell others will guarantee that. All students should be required to learn basic persuasion skills, basic negotiating, and basic closing, and how those are fundamental to life. No other set of skills will better determine the likelihood of a person getting a job, much less being successful in life, than the ability to persuade others, negotiate successfully, and convince others to act. As an employer, I don't always hire the smartest person or the most qualified person to fill a position. I'm much more likely to hire the person who convinces me that they can do the job. I look at the person's ability to persuade before I ever look at the person's resume. The resume is dead. It's the individual that's alive. It's the individual I'll engage with every day. Hey, I'm thinking, will I like the other person? Will I like having them around me? Is this person a winner? Does this person exude confidence and a positive attitude? Can this person convince others to take action? See, I'll hire the persuasive, the positive, and the confident, hands down, over anyone who offers me a fancy resume. It has been said that almost 1/4 of population Earth is involved in selling as a career. But these people are confining their thinking to an industry and a job type. It is incorrect to think of sales in this way. Selling is an absolute must for getting along in life. Breathing, eating, and exercising are not careers for most of us. They're requirements for living and for surviving and for prospering and for making dreams come true. So it is with selling. Most books written about sales are about the career of selling, and they exclude how vital it is to life. It is elementary, vital, as important as breathing, water, and food. My wife constantly asks me, hey, how do you always seem or appear to get your way with people? And the answer is simple, sweetie, because I want to. I get my way in life because I want a great life for us. I get my way in life because I try to get my way. Oh yeah, because I know how to sell, I know how to persuade, and I know how to close others on getting what I want. See, whether she knows it or not, my wife is one of the best salespeople I've ever met. She's passionate, persistent, and she also always seems to get her way when she tries to. And hey, it's not just with me. This book, Selling the Secret to Success, is going to teach you how to get your way in life.